That's one issue if you decide to microwave your bird, but here's another one, dealing with your family on Thanksgiving. What happens if the conversation, say, starts to drift from turkey to politics?
Because we all know in this, of course, this political climate, not everyone is on the same page,
Oh, you
which
think?
can make it a little awkward,
Okay.
right?
Sure, I've noticed that.
Yeah, have you? Just a little?
Yeah. So joining us now with some tips on how to handle these heated topics is Dr. Melissa Estavillo with Biltmore Psychology and Counseling. Thank you for being here.
Good
Appreciate
morning
it.
to you.
Yeah, good to see you. Okay. So I imagine there's some anxiety, right? Because you might have that uncle who has, you know, 3 or 4 beers before dinner starts and lets things fly. What do you do if the uncle all of a sudden says, well, I think what happened so-and-so is great?
So just to start off, obviously this is so uncomfortable because Thanksgiving is supposed to be this time where we're connected, and this is not a connective time. And so one of the things that I think works so well, this is something that psychologists do a lot, they'll connect with a piece of what something's saying, not agree with it, but reframe it into something else. Someone's talking about walking up, you know, a caravan walking up to the border.
Right. Okay.
Start talking about walking long distances and be like, you know, I've been thinking about walking across the United States or Europe. How do we
doing
do
a marathon?
that? Exactly.
We can walk a marathon.
I'm talking about what you're talking about, but in this other way. So I'm not shutting you down. You're not going to get mad, but this is a better way to reframe.
And then you can loop them in. Hey, do you want to train together for the walk?
Yes, exactly.
And then your uncle looks confused and says, no, wait a second. I was talking about how we need a bigger wall. So he comes back at a second time. How does that work?
Yeah, so one of the things I think that is also helpful is knowing beforehand what you can do. So we come to Thanksgiving with a dish. Come to Thanksgiving with a list of things in your mind that would be better topics to have. Sometimes I think people bring things up because there's a lull in the conversation, and they're like, what do I talk about? Oh yeah, I just saw this really interesting thing. So I think if you can talk about more connective topics and be proactive with that, maybe you could mitigate the situation to begin with, because it is hard when it keeps coming up over and over again.
So if there's like, maybe you're hosting, you know, dinner, if you have a list of things you can do. Hey, let's go around the table and say what we're thankful for.
Yes.
Or, you know, things like that.
It's going to open up some doors, isn't it? Well, you know, I mean, somebody might say, oh, anyway, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Because there's one thing, everybody thinks you get together with family, and it's just so amazing because, oh, I'm with family. But not all families are great.
They're not. That's why I have a job, really, to be honest. We've often joked that Thanksgiving is a time that we're really busy just because families can be so tense. So I do think it's important to be as close as you can possibly be to your family without getting hurt. So I think that there's space to be able to say, if I can't be this close and I'm getting hurt, then I need to be a little bit farther. I need to have some distance because it is really disappointing for a lot of people. But I think with the sentiment of gratitude, we're really able to look and say, there might be a good 30% of topics, values that I don't agree with my family, and that's polarizing and really frustrating, and yet there's a good 70% where we're on the same page. And so that practice of gratitude, I think, really focuses on those connective pieces versus the divisive differences, and leaves us with a better sense of what happened. Even though that was awful, that was really frustrating, you might not want to go back next year.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's a great point for everybody. I think there probably is about maybe 25 or 30% of things that really divide us. But at the end of the day, we all have some common interests as human beings, as Americans.
Right.
You know, right? We're on the same page for most things.
Exactly. We're going to connect in generosity. We might not agree with how the government should do that, but we're going to agree on the fact that we should be giving, we should be sharing. And those are the things I think that bring us together and keep us away from these really divisive things where it actually feels more like there's only 20% that we can agree on and 80% that we're not, which isn't
we want healthy kids. We want to be able to have good jobs. We want to be able to have clean water.
Pay
we
our
want
bills,
to, you know, all the things. Pay our bills.
Good health.
Dr. Estavillo, thank you so much for coming on.
Nice to meet you
job.
guys. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
All right, still ahead.